Okie dokie. Right. Onegaishimasu. Okay, let's get just a little bit of light movement up and down. Just put your in the hands. You can bring the feet up if you like. Come up onto the toes. Okay, and front and back. Last. Oh, yeah. Nice. Feel free to explore the footwork as well, changing the feet. Be a bit wider range of motion, especially when you put one foot in front. Okay, turn side to side. Okay, circling to the back. Okay, working with the wave. Working from the hips. You do this two ways. If you do with the jaw, a little bit like rowing with the jaw, you can go down to the body that jaw's close, and then here. So this kind of motion, and then you also got the other reverse motion, so kind of winding it up, dropping it down, winding it up, dropping it down. So just play with these two. The jaw's going to go in a circular way. So explore really dropping to the ground as well. Letting the jaw go all the way into the ground, drawing it up, all the way to the ground, draw it up. Just trying to anchor the whole movement in the hips. The lower body relax. Just play a little bit with the jaw. And then just let the jaw reflect the hip work. Whatever you're doing with the hip, let the arms follow it. Good. And then just start to take it any direction you like. Just playing a little bit with the jaw. Roland. Good. And just play with, keep the arms quite light on the jaw. And just play with being really kind of heavy in the body. Keep the grip quite light, heavy in the lower body, nice and kind of rubbery. Just mix them all in. Start to make the movements bigger. You can do these kind of big circling movements over the top. Kind of roll the jaw through the arms. tie the arms up a little bit with the gel. Just getting the whole body moving. Yes. As I go to one hand in the gel, nice big movements. Having one hand on it's good because you'll find yourself in these kind of positions. You go into like this, very similar to kind of being taken out into ukemi. Just keep the center of the body. Just try and feel all the time where your base is in relation to where your center weight is in relation to your base. So where the feet are. And you might just be on one foot as you go into these kind of deep movements forward or backwards. Play a little bit with bending the body back, not too much. You can also use the gel as a kind of prop on the ground, just things to explore. And this can kind of aid. I don't want to lean on it too much, so I don't want to put too much weight on it. I just want to use it there as a little bit of an extra point to do that too. And if you think about it, in this case, the jo, I'm not going to lean weight on it, but the jo is kind of representative of another person. They kind of keep the weight, and they've taken the arm and drawn it into their weight, or drawn it into their center. So in that case, I don't want us, the uke, to lean into the person, because they're just going to they just disappear. But in that case, just see that you can basically work your center around the contact point. Great. And then just keep this in mind, just keep the jo in the middle, and you're just going to move around it. So moving the feet around, keep the jo as the constant. So you've got a kind of thing to go, and just play with rolling the body around. So take a grip. Normally do this in the kind of active way, so kind of doing the active part, doing techniques like this. In this case, just think about the ukemi part. So just stretching the body out a little bit. Coming to here, getting drawn out to the front. Just explore different angles where you can get drawn. Also, you might find nice to get their arms kind of tied up a little bit and get drawn out from the center, and just feel where the body's getting drawn out to. And then you can choose, you can either just hold it there, or you can just join the movement with the body. Because the jo's not going anywhere, you can just kind of walk into it, walk out of it. That's it, yeah, right to the back, that's a good one. Yeah, think about shihonage as well, that's a good one. Oh, yeah, oh, I can't quite do it. Very good. Oh, you're more flexible, totally. That's very nice, very nice. Yeah, great. That's it. For me, these two techniques, ikkyo and shihonage, these are really the key. These are really the key techniques. Also, in terms of Aikido, they teach really all the basics. So, ikkyo, shihonage. Yeah, great. Nice. And then just switch from that to the other roll. So imagine the jo again is static, or the point on the ground is static. Just move around it and just roll through it. So just think about now rolling into positions. And again, I got a kind of feeling of like ikkyo, taking these grips on top or taking the grip underneath. You might find it best just to start with one hand on the jo, then you've got a real sense of freedom. The whole body can kind of wind around it. And just really explore movement. But also really sensitive to this idea of weight, draining the weight down. Thinking about 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒄 is a kind of good one in this case, because you've got a lot of leverage and big, nice movement coming down with the lower body. There we go. Okay, and then just working with the basic passing. This is more about the feet than the arms, but the idea now is if you've got the center point here, just feel that the body's going to slide in and draw it out. It's going to do something like Ikkyo, but don't worry too much about the hands, what the hands are doing. You can do different things with it. But the key now is get the feeling that the hips are going in, rolling in and pressing out. You're going to come into that kind of position. And just place it down. You can do this both ways, so you do think like Shihonage as well. But the key is that get the feeling that the body's going to come into the space and then draw it out this way. So again, it's about establishing the base in the ground. So get the feeling of rolling up underneath. Rolling up underneath. So I want the feeling like the jaw's really being raised from the ground, not by the arms like this, but by the ground. It's got this kind of quality. There we go. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. Yeah. Great, and this is working the same way. What you do now is go in, and then it's one of the old things Saitans used to say is in the videos you see is he says toe to toe, go toe to toe. So you're gonna go like toe to toe with the jaw, and then feel that you arc up and away, and then roll into this position here. So this is like going into an Ikkyo Ura, but just take one foot, comes here, into the center, yeah, and then feel that you arc up through it. So you arc up, away, and then you find the rotation to the back. So it's really about joining the center into the right at the middle of the movement. Right in the middle of it. And again, I want to feel that the jaw gets raised from below. From below. Pivot around it. Just play a little bit with the angle. You can make this really wide. You can make it quite narrow. Just keeping all the time this feeling of the weight underneath. So the underside of the arm, nice and heavy. And the lower body, more of a priority than the upper. That's it. There we go. Great. Try this just because it makes it very, very obvious and very simple. So when you do this movement with the Ikkyo, this kind of movement here, this is a great teaching, but really like sword work kind of principle. But the feeling of sinking down, establishing the root, and raising up, kind of exploding up out of the ground. So that they both go together. So it's not that one's over the other. It's that they're both kind of happening at the same time. So if you think of that movement, it's actually doing something like that. The more root I've got, the more growth up I've got. So that kind of quality. So just feel lots of systems, you know, we don't tend to do it in this system, but lots of systems like Yoshinkan or Tohei's system, the Ki Aikido, they do these kind of Ikkyo exercises. These are really basic exercises for getting this feeling of the root and the extension of the body. So just focus on it with the jokes. It gives me a really clear idea. And if you think about our basic technique we do is, the basic one we've got for this is Shomaruchi Ikkyo. This, without the ground, I've got just forward motion or upward motion. And without the upward motion, I've just got kind of clashing with the person. So just then, if you can get this feeling of this. And it's not about the shoulders at all. It's in the hip, 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 hip. That's it. And if you think about the emote is really simple because I'm just passing the hips through. So the hips just go in, hips just go in. And when I do the Ura, you're pressing the hips in at the same time as rotating them. That's why the Ura is difficult, because during the raise and the grounding, I'm rotating the body. that's why it's kind of a tricky move, but just play with it, kind of break it down. Feel free to go into ikkyo, putting the jo in the ground also. Just play with different moves. All the time, this feeling of weight underneath, grounding. Yeah, that's it, that's it, that's it. Good. That's it. Very good. Nice. And we do this quite loose. Just keep the jo. You've got quite a bit of length in the backside, like this here. I don't want it too long and heavy. So keep the jo about here. And then as you go, just working with the hand. Working with the hand. I'm going to use the side of the jo really to slide the hand down. What I don't want is the feeling of pushing down or hitting it, but just the feeling of weight through the hand. So there's no kind of added pressure in the hand. It's just coming contact, body. Contact, body, that way. And then the hand's going to do that. And then in this case, just grab it, take it, and then you find that next movement, that, rolling underneath. And you can take that where you like. You can go into the front, this way, draw it down, wherever you like. The key move is this first one, and then this transferring into the second one. So just get the sense. You can also, in this case, start from a very square on position here, and then just go into that. Or you can start in hammy, kind of coming here, roll into the side. It's just really focusing on the hips. Hips go first, hip, hand, and then hips into it that way. That's it. That's it. Good. Very nice. Yeah, there we go. And you can also take this into the ura as well. Once you've got a hang of it, just start to add that rotation if you like. Okay, so the tricky part is this idea of keeping the weight. So the hips and the weight are going through different stages. So this first one, the weight's sinking down and the weight's going down with the hands. So that's a kind of, it's the same relationship because the hand's kind of coming down and the hips are going down. Now the second one, this is where I can get screwed up because the hand's going up. If I lift the hips up, I go into this kind of position. And then I've lost the weight underneath and then I'm going to push down with the arms, something like this. So just keep the sense that you keep the weight as you go in, down, down, down. And then what you want is this hand not to be raising the jo, but actually not lifting the jo here, but actually raising it from below. So it's got this kind of feeling, this kind of feel. So there's a kind of screwing happening from the ground there. And then if I can get that position down, now that the tricky part is that I don't want to drop the hands down. And then it'd be in this kind of position. What I want is the feeling that the hips drive the hands down. There. There's this feeling from the top, like the hips draw, the hands draw back to the center. But they don't do it like that. Something like that. The hips are going to kind of tip the hands down. There. There. And then in. So just, again, it's just about being aware of the base and the center in relationship to it. All the time keeping that relationship with the ground very clear. That's okay. Yeah. Yeah, got it. Got it. Good. And then there's one method doing this, just exaggerating it, and it's not related to the technique, so I can just go into it in a kind of pure movement. So not thinking about Ikkyo at all, just coming here down, and then what you're going to do here is something else. You're going to roll up, roll down here, and then roll the jo over the top. Yeah, and then press it in. And then from here, you've got two choices in this case. You can keep the top hand moving. So every time I do it like this, that, this, or you can alternate each side. So the traditional way in this case, when we use this movement as a blocking movement, is that the right hand always goes. The right hand always goes. So we do something like this. Dong, 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 dong. But you can mix this up. So just play a little bit with the hands. You've actually got 4 options, but we tend to do one way in the jo way, but because I'm not really teaching the system in this case this way. Much more about Taijutsu application, so feel free to change it. In this case, it's actually better to move the top hand every time. Gives me more tension in the jo. I'll show this really 𝒂𝒊𝒏 because it's also useful to do it in this kind of level. So in this case, you do like this, down, and then from here, the key is that I don't do this to arm work separate from the body, so the whole body goes into it this way, comes to here, and then from here, take the big step in, this, and then again, the whole body drives the jo up here, and then down, and then the whole body drives the jo up. Down, whole body drives the jo up. The problem with this is I start to do the arm kind of independent, and then they start to drag the body out. So this is useful to do in 𝒂𝒊𝒏. Later, this all just comes together. But just feel free to break it down. The key thing is that when you break things down, don't separate handwork. So don't isolate arm work. Always, when you break it down, keep the body moving. A little bit more exaggerated than when we do it in the jo work. A little bit more focused on the body. So, again, if you're feeling comfortable with this, just start to, you can also, what you can do from this position is also draw the body in. Down. So you can also play with different angles. Down. Down. Which makes it much more harder because as I'm rotating in, I'm trying to find the ground, get the hips in place. So just feel free to play with, you can also play with moving forwards and backwards. So just play with a few options. All the time, the relationship to the ground, the hands is the same. Some are just more challenging than others to pull off with connection and weight. Like that. That's it. So that's it. Great. Very nice. Great. Okay, and every so often, what I want you to feel now, you go through these kind of motions, dun, dun, dong. Every so often come into a kind of finish with it. So you draw back, roll the body in, and then really taking the grip in and pressing through it. So you're really coming into a position of kind of strength with the hands. So you're really kind of pinning it down. So just move around. Find that kind of flow. Find the body sinking down. And then every so often, really press it into the ground. The kind of grip, someone told me this once about the bike as well. So this is a good analogy sometimes you use. If you're riding a bike, there's a feeling of like bending the handlebars in like this, like this. And that's kind of the feeling I've got with the Joe. This. So I'm trying to kind of bend it from this way. And what that does is also activates all the back. So you can try it like this way. It doesn't quite work on a human. Oh, it can work quite well, but it works better on a Joe because it's just straight. There's no kind of breaks in it. So there, and just feel at that point, really you can take a really strong grip as well. So really try and feel that the grip can be very, very, very powerful. There, and the intention is really to seal the grip and seal the back of the body into the technique. The key is that it doesn't raise the shoulders and create kind of too much tension in the arms. But the grip needs to be pretty sealed as you do it. So. Yeah, really simple exercise you can do. Just take the Joe in the hands this way. You can also do this way to give you balance, but actually do it like this because it makes you imbalance if you do it wrong. So just watch this. You can do this a few ways. Watch this. I can do a few things with this. I can grip one hand more than the other. This will take me out. This will take me out. Or I can focus too much in the front of the body, and it will be something like this. That I get both together, but that is somewhere here. Now, if I follow that, that's just taking me out of balance again. So everything's coming to the front. So try and get something. I can also, no one ever does this, but it's also possible. Possibility is to do that, to get taken out to the back. So just feel that when you do it, it's really a sense of this and that, and this is really sword work. It's the same thing we do with sword work. We'll go that. So just feel everything comes on and comes in evenly, and the hip should still be free, the shoulders should still be free, but everything's nice and come together. And then from that balance position, I can take an angle. If I'm out, ooh, I'm gonna fall into it. So just play with it a little bit just to get the grip. You want to be really even with it. So you don't want to be balanced one side, imbalanced one side or the other, and you don't want to be imbalanced front and back. If you think about the Seitai directions, these are always the same. The vertical up down, the front back, left right, the rotation we've got, and then the inside outside, which is really all of the directions kind of coming together. But just see if you can get a sense for, with a real tight grip as well. So really try and that's it. There we go, nice. And then this just plays with a little bit of looseness in it and also relates to the Joe work. So you've got that quality then, and then just feel that you can take it through the body. Take it through the body. So you can do something like, my aim is to do something like this with the Joe, but without doing it with the hands. I want to feel that comes in, and then the body does it. Body does it. That's really exaggerated, but that. Fix it in place, and then feel that it's still actually free to move. It's also true, like I get the ikkyo, oh, it's failed. I go to nikyo, bang! Or ikkyo's failed, go to sankyo. So I need to also be flexible in those kind of moments because it's very easy to lose that kind of technique. I was watching a really goofy old kung fu movie yesterday, and they had all these traps in the training. So they're doing these kind of motions, and they were trying to. They imagined they were turning a cog in front of them here. So they were trying to turn the cog with the end of the Joe, and at the same time there was knives here. pointing at the wrist. So if they did it with the arms like this, they would get stabbed. So all the students had just cuts all over their arms because they were trying to turn. But it's got the same quality. You want the arm's not actually moving in space, but it's not doing something like that. It's that and then that. That. And especially the front arm doesn't really go out. It's if anything goes, it's the back arm. But that back arm's being released from the hip. You can also do it in the other direction as well. So if you imagine kind of turning a cog with the tip of the jaw, you can do that also both ways. That's it. Yeah. And just try a little bit with the feet, because you might find this easier being kind of square on, and you might be easier being in a kind of in a jokomai or in a skikomai. So you might find one's actually easier. There, but keep that same feeling of being quite on the jaw here. Run. There we go. This is one of those exercises, really hard work as well, because if the center is really active in it, really going to be doing all the motion. There we go. Yeah. That's it. Great. That's it. That's it. And then just one exercise, just to really free this up. We'll go into a little bit of 𝒊𝒏𝒈 next, but just roll the body through. You can work just one side also. Also work with the jaw like off center as well. So sometimes play with the jaw a little bit here. Just watch the fixtures and fittings. You go through, roll it through, and just keep this idea that at some points you can be drawing towards the center with the hand. Drawing towards the center, but really keep that sense of flexibility in it. So you just take it, roll with it, just move the whole body. Go into whatever kind of motions you like. Just with a direct relationship between the center, the hands, and the hips. One. That's that. There we go. That's it. Yeah, and you can use the hands two ways. You can grip with one hand, and you can use the other one in a kind of 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒿 way. So kind of rolling through it and transitioning through it. Rolling through it, transition. So just play with the grip and play with also being open-handed, and also play obviously with just one hand on the jaw. Again, keep that same kind of quality of connection. The best techniques to think about in this case are kind of, by going back to 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒿 really. So I think about a little bit more fluid 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒿 techniques. Just looking at the body mechanics. And see if you can get to a point where you start to feel that the jaw and the body really start to grow together. So I'm stopping to think about kind of manipulating the jaw around and moving it through the space, and just start to think of it, it's going to come together. It just joins the whole body. Yeah. And the moment I feel like it's splitting out, just start to slow it down a little bit. Going slow is a really good method in this case. And slow will really tell you where you're stuck, where I get stuck. Will tell me where I get stuck. Let's say that. Wow. There we go. Very nice. Good. Great. We'll do a little bit of 𝒊𝒏𝒈 work. So just starting with a ski. Just coming into 𝒕𝒂𝒏. Just go straight into Zengo ski. So Go to the front, roll into the back, here. Just so you can use all this kind of center work as well, because it's all really relevant for Jo work. This Jo work's not only about feeding it into the body work, or the taijutsu work, it's about both ways, so really feel that all the systems work each other. Right. Okay, just coming in now to ski hayagaishi. So you go ski hayagaishi. Keep it nice and flat, and then just revolve into the back. So it's always left side, right side, roll into the back. Left side, right side, rolling back. Just focusing on that transition between the hip work. You've got the ski, going to the hayagaishi. So you're going to kind of yokomen work with the hips. From hito-emi, you're going ski kamae, hito-emi, yokomen-uchi, rolling back. Just keep that same sensitivity for the center, falling always into the base. Good. Then just add one more. So you go here, ski, hayagaishi, and then you're coming forward into a yokomen. Now from this position, when you transition, keep the right hand on the jo. Just roll back. So you go here, that. And then here you go, right side, left side, right side. And then when you make this transition, release the left hand. And you go here, back to the beginning. So in this case, you go ski, left side, yokomen, yokomen, rotate to the back, ski, yokomen, yokomen, return to the beginning. Okay, give that a try. So you've got one ski, two strikes. Rotate, one ski, two strikes. Hoita. Was. Transition. Okay, good. So we're going to these last two saburi. These are the nagari movements. So these are flowing motions. So the first one starts in kenkamai. He goes back. And in this case, you roll back. Here, you strike through your yokomen. Here, and then you roll to the back with a block. Oh, I didn't hand roll. Sorry. I'm too used to doing that with hand with the bokken now. Goes here, keep the hand open this way. Rolls down this way. And then from here, step in, yokomen uchi. Goes here. There's two yokomen, so you go back, one, strike through yokomen uchi, two, roll to the back for a block, and then yeah, striking through the final yokomen. Give it a try. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4. And back. Hold. Yeah, you'll probably find this trick, if you're using a bokken for this, you'll find this quite tricky because as I go to the yokomen, now if I try and find the basic that I do for the jo work, it slides off because it's not long enough for the bokken. So it's got no support. And if I do the movement the same and I do that, it's not strong enough to support the jo. So that's why when I come to the bokken work, I'm in that position. Because this is a stronger position to do it in a shorter way. With the jo, because you've got the length, you're in this position here. So it's much longer, it's a wider position, and that puts the arm in a strong position. But if it's here, it's not really strong enough to kind of hold the jo. It's going to buckle. So I need the arm in extension this way. So just notice the difference. If you're using the bokken also, or using the jo, just notice that extension in the front. I don't want it to be here. In that, this is really constrained. This is one of the bad parts of working indoors with low ceilings as well, and things all around me. But the movements tend to get condensed down. But I really feel that those movements are really nice, big open movements. So they're nice big moves. And then I've got space in the extension to then take it through. So be totally aware of the space around you, but try and feel that the movements are a little bit bigger. They got a really kind of expansive movement, expansive quality. If you watch that video of Osensei with the jo, really great, just big, clear, big, wide, open movements, but totally contained in the center. That's the kind of, that's what you're looking for. There we go, nice. Yeah. Yeah. This is a really easy move, especially with the rotation. Just try this this way. So you go from this position just here. But this is a really easy movement, especially in the rotation, because if I get spun out, I go to here, something like this. And then the next strike happens here, happens in front of the head. So just the other side of that is I don't want the jo to come to the back here, somewhere here, because then the next strike is going to come from this really strange position. So just trying to, it's best, for me, it's best working it this way, just coming here and just taking a step back and really feel the back's full, but the jo's in this kind of position here. And then from here, just feel that you can release the hip. But this hand's going to really be flexible, but I don't want to be in this kind of position where the jo's really forward and then that moves really small. So just create a kind of sense of space with the body. And you can try with the rotation or without. Just get that feeling of rounding it down. Again, it's got that kind of same quality as the 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒖𝒄𝒄. Down and out, or up and out, up and down, up, out and down. I want all the directions to be in place. If only I've got the back. Oh, no. Try and get everything much more expanded. Here. That's something down. That's it, that's it, that's it. Yeah, there's one mind thing you can play with yourself. Just imagine someone's above you here and they're going to push down on the jaw. So what I want to feel is like if I'm in this kind of position, if they were to push down, the jaw would do this into the body. This is much too tight to the body. So if I'm in this kind of position also, if they push into the jaw, I would go over the back. So just feel that there's a point when I would, that the point they would push in, I'm directing it to the ground. So all these kind of tricks you see people do where people are pushing them from above, they've got all these bouquets pushing them, you're just redirecting the force down to the ground. It's the same in this case. Feel that the body's actually creating a really dynamic structure to meet the person. And I'm not trying to force against it, push against it, but I'm just trying to sit the body down so that the whole structure gets compressed into the ground. And then the person's effectively pushing the ground. So it's got that kind of quality. That's the kind of quality I need to have an effective kind of block in this case, because I want the jaw to just come in and go away. But I don't want that jaw work to kind of affect the body. In this kind of position, boom, in this kind of boom. Really feel that there's a kind of structure underneath it. But just have a feeling, yeah, something's pressing in. And that's the same with the 𝒂𝒄𝒄. I want to feel the whole structures underneath it. The moment that's weak, or it's here, it's going to go away. So just get that feeling. Again, it's about the relationship with the ground. Bernie. Thanks a lot.
Michael,
yeah, sure.
Michael, when we are doing the turning movement, is the idea just to go around to come in the block position, or is the idea also to go around and to make the way free with the jaw in the turning movement?
No, yeah, it's just a block to the back.
Okay.
Yeah, so in that case, it's not a kind of clearing movement. Yeah. You could maybe make it that. That would be a bit different, but yeah, it's really, you've got to think that someone's right behind you, coming straight in with the strike, so that movement's got to be quite direct that way. Yeah, in that case, I don't want to think about clearing space. So it's not like the 𝒊𝒏𝒈. It's not like that kind of movement. No, not in this case. There we go. Nice. That's it. Great. Good. We'll go to 20. So in this case, you start in 𝒂𝒂𝒿 again. Now the first step in this one's from the back foot. So you go in, you strike down another 𝒂𝒂𝒿, and in this case, keep the right hand on the jaw. You roll to the back and you bring that foot back. Now from this position, I want to block and I want to find the end of the jaw here. I'm in pretty much the same position, so the jaw's wedged out down in the body this way. The only difference is I'm right at the end of the jaw, because the next move is to go into a ski forward to here. So you start now in 𝒂𝒂𝒿, step in, 1, roll to the back, 2, find the end of the jaw, and then thrust in, 3. You've got a big rotation movement now. 1, 2, 3. What's that? Boom. What was that? H. Boom. Okay, just watch the angle on the block. So you've got this movement. So you start in 𝒂𝒂𝒿, you do left side, And as you block around, try not to go to this position. This is too narrow because you've got to think this is either blocking a 𝒂𝒂𝒿 or a 𝒕𝒉𝒂𝒕. So I've got to feel that that movement's wedged out this way. I've got to feel that you're kind of, it's going to take a slight angle to the body. So you're in 𝒂𝒂𝒿, goes here, here. So it's wedged out, it's not narrow in this kind of position this way. It's kind of here, boom, and then coming through that way. Give it a try. That's it. That's it. Rolling.
I just was looking for the position of your hand in the block position.
This one, this hand.
Yeah.
That one, yeah, that one's in that. In this case, it's palm down.
Okay.
Finger
Great.
down, finger point down. Boom. We're in that position. That's it. There we go. Yeah. Think what you're going to find that the second hand position for the ski. You're going to find in that second movement. So just watch for this. I go here, there, and then I find the ski work here. This you need to do that before you've come to the block. So in this case, the transition's here, there, there, there. So I found that position before I got to the block that way. This is later for the ki nagai work. So because I need to be in that position to go straight into the ski. I can't be in that position and then try and find it. This will throw the whole body out. So just be really strict on this. Get there. This right hand stays in place, and then as you go, there. So it's a really soft transition. I need to find the end of the jo, otherwise I've lost that length and I won't be able to find it if I go at high speed. I won't be able to find it in the ski movement. Just see if you can find it here. 1, 2, 3. So I don't need to make any adjustment when I come into the ski. Okay, cool. There we go. That's it. Good. Great. Good. Nice. Okay, so these are called nagari movements. So the nagari is about flowing. So these are really designed for flow work. So there's a really old video you can see with Sai Sensei in the fields in Iwama, and he's training these kind of movements really fluidly. And then later they became systematized and they became kind of individual moves, 1, 2, 3, like blocks, but they're really designed to be flowed through. So what we'll do is just start to bring them into motion. So you come to here, just split them up again, just because it makes it easier. So you go here, in this case, go into the 𝒂𝒂𝒿, yeah, and then you're going to go to the block, but flow through it. So I do all the same work, nothing changes. You find this position, and then from here, roll back, find the strike. So you're still going through all the same motions. The key is this hand is also moving. Later, this hand work disappears for fluidity. But for now, here, strike 1, and then this just goes through 2. So it's a big, slow, long 2. You've got here, 1, 2. Oh, that's a little bit too fluid. And this is a distinction between flowing work and fluid work. So in this case, it's like semi-flowing in this case. It's not quite full speed flowing. It's a really nice stage to work in. Yeah. So this stage will reveal all the kind of pieces I'm kind of pushing and pulling with the jo. So just watch this one especially. This one, as I come through, something like this. So kind of this with the hand. So just watch this. This is really nice and soft. This. So the key is this hand. So as you go, I want to feel that the jo's rotating into the center of the body. So you got that. And then as I go, really feel that this isn't dropping and pushing up. It's rotating around the core. Later, this is essential for getting into flow with it. So the feelings that the hand is right in the core. And you've got this hand as a support, but try not to, in this case, push it up. Just get the sense that what you're doing is there. The jo should feel very soft in that rotation. What's heavy is the body down, boom, going right down to the ground. And that jo work, the raise of the jo is going to come from the heaviness in the body. Whoa. Just play with it a little bit. Ah. Done. That's it. Okay, good. I'll just show you that this is in case you ever injure your knees. This will really help you because this kind of footwork, I just can't do it if I've got an injured knee now. So if I do this, I'm going to show you it, but if I do this kind of footwork, just like something like this, that. So if I do that with the body, like I'm swinging the body into this foot, I'm going to go right against the knee. So I'm going to really injure it, and especially when it's weakened, I'm going to go into it. But even when I've got an injury like this, if I can just find the ground through the body, it's not going to affect the knee. So I'm not going against it that way, this way, but I'm sinking down into it that way. So that's what gives me the opportunity to be able to work with it. If I do that kind of stuff, I'm going to really push the body out beyond its limits. So just watch for, in this case, focus on the center of the body, and again, the base spiraling down. So just always be aware of the base and how you're kind of spiraling into it. The moment I go against the knees or against the structure, it's going to kind of suffer for it. And it won't be in the first time, it'll be in the kind of 10,000th time I do it. That's it. So it's really about kind of pivoting around the core. It makes the movement really graceful as well. It looks great. That's it. There we go. Nice. We'll just stick to this one. The other one's a little bit more complicated. So when you do this one now, you do like this. Here, you now strike through it. So you go through, rotate, and strike. So now it's just one movement. So you go back. You find, this is why it's really important. This is a yokomen. Yokomen, roll through, strike down. And again, just take this really slow. So go much slower than you'd like to do. I've got to as well because it's really hard to hold this together. This. Even better on a slippy floor. You can just spin around with the feet. That's it. Just carry that. Yeah, carry it through. That's it. Yeah. You've got an option in this case. If you do this really slow, as you go through, you can adjust the hand just to give you a kind of support. If you want, if you do this full speed, full power, then that hand just stays. So what I need then is this kind of mobility through the body this way. So just play with it. If you do it slow again, you can adjust the hand. But when you come to full speed, you're gonna have to keep that hand really contained and open because it needs to be coming down for that strike. So it's just gonna come straight in. So just see this as like one long strike. Whoa. It's actually just one strike. It just whips around. There we go. Yeah. There's yokomen. Right around. That's it, Adrian. Yeah. There we go. That's it. Great. There we go. so a little bit where this kind of impact bracing kind of goes away. Just watch this. If I do this kind of impact brace and then go with it, I've lost that motion. So what you need to feel in this case is that impact is going to go through and then finish. So there's a different quality now, which is like, I normally do that kind of like brace the body and then take it and then brace the body. But in this case, what you're doing is just flowing through it, through. So it's got this is the kind of 𝒂𝒂𝒿 quality, which is just letting the body hit the ground and go. It's got that kind of quality now. It's a little bit more like a whip. If you do this really at speed, also your body will just get spun around. It will just go with it. So it's a good move to do fast as well. And then if you can centralize that, that's really using good power. That's it. Yeah. Good. Just feel it goes through. That's it. Yeah. There we go. Right. Good. Yeah. Nice. Whoa. There we go. Nice. Right. Okie dokie, we'll bow out. So this was a nice movement as a kind of template for how to take them all into flowing work. So some of the 𝒍𝒐𝒏 really just suit flowing work or go really well into flowing work. So some of the 𝒖𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂 and these kind of movements really go well into, mostly the second set. So that the second group of the 20 really are very nice to go into kind of flow work. So we'll look at some of them next week at some point. Hi. どうもありがとうございました。
どうもありがとうございました。
Great.
Thanks a lot, Michael.
Good
Again.
work. Nice.
Yeah, another great week. Thank you.